I initially picked this matchup for the 2023 NBA Finals between the Lakers and the Philadelphia 76ers. I feel like that possibility is becoming more and more realistic than ever just based off of what we're seeing in the playoffs from the Philadelphia 76ers. I know that I may come off as a flip-flopper, but I have my reasons, man. Like, in the beginning, I initially picked Philly to go to the finals just because of their history where they almost make it. They almost make it. They almost make it. Like, they get to the second round and there's some sort of flame out or some sort of choke, or Kawhi hits a big shot, you know what I mean? Or Atlanta where Trae Young is just going crazy. Or Ben Simmons has that choke job. I feel like this is the year where they finally get over that hump. That's what I initially felt. And, it kind of waned. I started to go with Boston and I had some doubts about Philly. And I should have just stuck with Philly. And, I should have been more confident in them instead of switching over to Boston, because I should have been more aware of what could happen in a series where you have a rookie head coach who's totally different from who they initially had or who they had where they went to the finals. And it's showing. Like, the X and the O's, the execution, the decision making from the coach is the reason why they're not gonna win this series. And I'm seeing it. It's like there's certain things that he's doing that's just really questionable. Certain things that he's doing that Ime Udoka would not do. And just based off of the difference between 2022 and 2023, it's like the team is not the same. You got the same players, but they're not the same team. The drive is not there like it was last year. So I feel like that can be a factor as well. And, in the end, you'll see Philly versus LA. Philly's going to beat Miami in maybe 6 games. And it's crazy because it's the rematch, for the semifinals last year. I think Philly's going to redeem themselves and beat Miami. Miami's good, but they can't hold up against Philly. They just can't, especially without Tyler Hero. They just can't hold up against Philly. They can give them a good run for their money, but they're not going to beat Philly. So Philly is going to go to the finals to face LA. That's my final prediction. I had other videos where I drew out a possibility or a scenario where this could happen just based off of Luciferian bent. And there's other elements pertaining to my prediction when it comes to Philly versus LA. But just to keep it basketball, Philly, they are a great team. Like, they are a great team, and they're the most clutch team in the NBA. And people don't really believe that, or they may not know that, but Philly is the most clutch team in the NBA, and they're showing it. And it's crazy because James Harden has proven me wrong, because the reason why I went with the Celtics, after I lost faith in Philly a little bit, was because of my doubts about James Harden in the playoffs. But one thing I should have took into account is the fact that he's older, so he's becoming more wiser. The game is starting to slow down a little bit for him, as well as his understanding of his past. So it's like, yo, I can't fuck this up, man. If I fuck this up, then what? And if they lose in the finals, he didn't fuck it up. All they gotta do is make it to the finals, and it'll be justified. Now, James Harden is ringless, but still, you're going against LA. You're going against the golden boy of the NBA. You're going against that project known as LeBron James. That's what you're going against. Now, in a perfect world, just when it comes to the simple aspect of basketball, I would pick the Nuggets. But I'm not going to pick the Nuggets because the league wants LA in the finals. LA will make it to the finals this year. And I believe they'll win. I don't want them to win, but I believe they will win. I'm rooting for the 76ers, but I believe LA will win the championship this year because they want to continue to push that LeBron James narrative. They want him to get ring number 5. It's just what they want. And in the year 2023, we already know 2 + 3 = 5, 2 × 3 = 6, 5 + 6 = 11, 11 = activation. The number 6 is prominent in the NBA this year. The Celtics, in a way, they seem like they're being used as that how you say, like, that's the team that is showing you that when it comes to the Luciferian element of this year's NBA playoffs, it's going to have a connection with what we're going to see in the finals. Boston representing that number 6 when it comes to how prominent it is in the NBA pertaining to Bill Russell dying before the season. They lose to the 76ers, the GOAT team. So you have LeBron, who's chasing that GOAT status, going against the GOAT in the 76ers. That's what I mean when I talk about that Boston Celtics connection. I know it's kind of like clunky a little bit, but that's what I mean as far as Boston being used as that like figure for what this represents in terms of the number 6. This is why in the video that I made, where I laid out the scenario where it could be Boston versus LA, I laid out the number 6 because that's something that's prominent this season. You got all the jerseys with the number 6, the NBA courts with the number 6 on it. Number 6, we already know what that represents. So, I thought that Boston, they could be a team that will make it to the finals, and it's still a possibility. But this is a 76ers video. This is prediction pertaining to Philly versus LA, and I feel like this would be the most accurate. Like, this is the more realistic one, just because of the the scenarios I laid out or the reasons I laid out in terms of this being a year where they finally get over that hump, where it's like, yo, listen, we cannot lose in the semifinals again. Like, we have to get to the finals. We have to get to the conference finals. And Joel Embiid, like, he's never been to an Eastern Conference Finals. So this is his year where they make it. And they won the MVP. He won the MVP this year. So it's like, bro, you got to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals at least. Now, I know Jokic, he hasn't made it to a conference finals as an MVP, but he's made it to a conference finals in 2020. Not as an MVP, but at least he made it to the conference finals. So Joel Embiid has to make it to a conference finals, and I believe this will be the year. I believe they will beat the Miami Heat, and you never know what happened in the finals, but I think the Lakers are going to take that just based off of what the league wants. And I'm not just shitting on the Lakers like they can't play. They're not a good team. They're a great team. They're a very good team, but I just feel like it's more at play when it comes to the assistance of the Lakers. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens, but this is what my final prediction is. LA versus Philly in the 2023 NBA Finals.